225.
God,
Yeah.
you're huge.
Did you get any Did you get any taller?
What's that?
Did you get any taller?
No, I didn't get any taller, unfortunately. No? I tried hanging from a pull-up bar with a 45-pound weight to me, but it didn't work out too well.
What was you weighing, Mike? What was you weighing when you was just fucking shredded? About 170, maybe?
190.
Was you 190? God damn, you look fucking great.
Yeah. I was pretty shredded at one point.
Huh?
Come on, man. You call him fat and then say you used to be shredded. You're gonna make the guy feel bad, man.
No, it's called fucking life.
Oh, it's
called life.
That's fucking life, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Mondo, we're actually recording right now. We don't do any prep. We don't do any big anything. So
no research.
We don't do research. I'm sure you subscribe to the show and watch it a lot, right? You've subscribed on YouTube.
Hell yeah, I subsubscribed. Oh yeah.
Check us out. Absolutely. He's lying. Look at him. I can tell he's lying right now.
No, I'm not lying. I subscribed.
0% chance he's subscribed. I'm gonna go look at every 365 subscriber and see if he's on there.
I want you to check it out. I'm on there. I subscribe to the Von Lilas podcast.
There we go. We just recorded episode 11 today, so we're on fire, baby. We're on fire. We just got done with Timmy Baltimore. He was on our Zoom just a little bit ago. So you know Timmy Baltimore, right?
Hell yeah, I know Timmy Baltimore. Oh yeah.
Good deal. What you got on there? You got a pro wrestling shirt on, or what do you got on there, man?
The
collar and elbow shirt.
Collar and elbow tie up, yeah.
That's the one I got in my thing.
Oh, Rip has it too. I thought you were gonna put a new shirt on, Rip. I don't have a new shirt on either, so it doesn't matter.
Well, you told me not to.
Well, that was for Timmy. For Mondo, you were supposed to. Look at Rip. It's fine. Nobody cares anyway. So today we got on Mike Mondo, former WWE superstar, former cheerleader, Mikey of the Spirit Squad.
In Madison Square Garden at age 21.
Madison Square Garden, age 21.
Fucking dime.
Come to OVW on his own dime.
Fucking hour Broadways than anybody I've ever fucking seen. When we do seminars and shit, fucking Mike would go out there and do them some bitches.
Welcome to Lilas Studios, Mike.
Thank you very much. Appreciate you having me on the show.
Yeah, man. We've been trying for a long time, and you keep kayfabing us, and finally, after a bunch of excuses of work and doctor's appointments and this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
How long did I fucking cuss him out when you said, "Oh, Mike's can't do it" or something? Well, God damn it, you should have cleared everything before you said "God damn yes." And
Rip is not cussing anymore either.
I just did.
He's really been working on that. If you can't tell, I mean, have you noticed?
Well, I was working on it earlier, but I forgot.
But the main thing is you're here, and you were here on time. Timmy Baltimore joined us 8 minutes late, so you're already up.
Ready on time, man. Got out of my doctor's appointment. Told you I'd be here at 12 o'clock. Here I am.
Here you are, baby. So we're not going to go through basically your whole life story. We're going to kind of shoot the shit, and then I do have a couple points that I want to get to. So we're gonna kind of skip through like where you were born and what you did when you were 5 and all that kind of stuff. Okay,
that's nice.
What I do want to know, OVW was not your starting ground though, right? You went somewhere else.
I started in Long Island, New York, at the New York Wrestling Connection in Hicksville, Long Island, New York.
Who was the trainer? Who was the main trainer
I was
there?
18 years old. Yeah.
Who was the main trainer there at that time?
The main trainer down there was John Kersey. He was he did a little something in ECW for a little bit, and also Mike Mayhem.
Okay.
Who, I don't think wrestles anymore, but he pretty much taught me a lot of the moves and stuff, so to speak, which actually came pretty natural to me. I just emulated what I saw on TV. I didn't know any better. Then about 8 months in, that's when I got me and Pat Buck were hanging out at my house, and we saw an advertisement for OVW at the for the tryout camp, the first ever tryout camp. I believe that was in 2002. And we were like, fuck it, let's just go for it. You know what I mean? And we both got enrolled, and the rest is history. We went down there for a week. Jim Cornette, Rip, you were down there. You were the head trainer at the time. And life took its course, got accepted, moved down there on my own dime at 19 years old. And pretty much started from the ground up, got myself a job, and pretty much, it was a full-time schedule from that point on.
You got to slow down, man. We got 40 more minutes to talk about, and you just went through your whole career. I mean, shit. The hell, dude.
Yeah, man.
So I always like that OVW tryout camp. You made it. Now pay us your money. I like that. That was a good rib you guys did down there, Rip.
What was that?
Those tryout camps you guys ran.
I didn't have nothing to do with it.
The people would come for a tryout camp. You would tell them they made it, and then turn around and now you got to pay us your money since you made it to OVW.
Yeah, but I tell you though, it was.
I'm just kidding.
One of those decisions my parents told me. They were like, we'll either pay for your wrestling tuition or we'll pay for you to go to college. And I kind of chose the wrestling route. And
well, that's awesome that they gave you that choice. I think.
Yeah, my parents were very supportive. I was very lucky to have very supporting parents and stuff. They knew that was my dream, and that was what I always wanted to go for. So that's what I just did.
How about Pat Buck? So I didn't know you knew Pat Buck before. So did you guys go to high school together, meet at wrestling school? How'd you get in with Pat Buck?
Yeah, no, we went to wrestling school together here
that was
in Hicksville. Yeah, that's where he was the first friend I've ever met in the wrestling business. We kind of buddied up pretty quickly and everything. We both were a fan of old school wrestling and everything like that. And, we'd hang out sometimes outside wrestling and just watch tape and just try to, increase our learning level and try to get better.
I mean, talking about a guy that never quit, never gave up. I mean, that guy has been in the wrestling business then basically his whole life. Never quote unquote made it as a wrestler. He never really got signed as a wrestler, but then opened up his own promotion, school, whatever. And then WWE, now AEW. I mean, he's been doing this forever and he's still in, baby. I used to, I don't know if I should use the word make fun of, but maybe a little bit back in the day with Pat Buck. But man, I give him all the respect in the world nowadays. I thought maybe at one time he took himself a little too seriously, I guess, was my thing.
Well, I always thought he was like the perfect example of like perseverance, kind of like what you just said.
Yeah, now,
he's the type of guy that went through like 10 different characters when he was in.
Oh yeah.
You remember that?
Pat
Buck. He was the hit maker, Pat Buck.
Top shelf talent, baby. Remember?
Talent.
Were you there when they did the top shelf talent thing? I think that's when I was giving him a little shit, probably about that time.
Yeah. No, but he found his calling, and I'm really happy for him. I think now he's a producer in AEW. And he's kind of just doing his thing, making a living in the wrestling business. I think that's what we all strive for.
Yeah, I mean, we just talked about the swerve he did on WWE, quit because he wanted to spend more time at home with his family, and then sign with AEW like the next day or something. That was
I know. I was kind of surprised to see that.
It was a good rib. Good rib there. Hey, do you remember your very first time that you walked into training, like your very first practice? Like, do you remember? I remember going to OVW the first time I saw some big Indian dude standing outside of the old Davis Arena doing squats, tattoos all over his head, earbuds in. I was there like an hour early, and he was already there outside waiting on Nick to get there and open up the doors. Do you remember walking in your first practice?
First practice? Now we're talking about when I first started in New York, or
correct.
OVW?
Either one, both of them.
Both of them in New York. Yeah, I remember walking into it was a dingy garage. I remember, and there was a crash pad in the ring. I guess they were practicing their flippy doos, which I'm sure everyone likes to do every now and then. Rip, right? I'm sure you got so many flippy doos. But no, I walked in and I just remember everyone just kind of staring at me. And I was just like, I just saw the ring and I just wanted to get in the ring so bad, and I was just like, okay, yeah, this is it. This is what I want to do. I'm going to enroll. I'm going to pay my damn tuition up front, pay in full. And I'm going to get started on this thing. I'm going to freaking do it. But I remember it was very kind of an intimidating experience too. Because I'm 5'7". I was, I was just out of high school, and these are like grown men. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, what am I getting myself into? But at the same time, it was like, no, this is my passion. This is something I always wanted to do, and I'm going to go ahead and do it. And I remember my first time I walked into the Davis Arena, again, I had my check with me, paid in full. Always paid in full.
Good student, huh? The best, baby.
Yeah. And I remember Danny Davis saying, I remember asking Danny, I'm like, Is it all right if I pay everything in full? You know, and he's like, well, yeah, of course it is okay to pay in full, and get a little bit of a discount off that, you know, and that was it. I rolled in Rip's class, and then I remember just doing the drills, freaking crisscrossing, running ropes, doing the kick out drills, over the top, through the middle, the jab drills, you know, the whole 9 yards, just getting that repetition and over. It was awesome. I was living the dream. It was great. Best time of my life.
Rip always said it would be. So when you came, you obviously said you were at the training camp first, and then Rip's class. Give us your first take on Rip. What'd you think of? Like, who the hell is this guy? This guy's nuts, that kind of thing? Or
I didn't actually. I just thought this is how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
You know, I thought just a guy that's supposed to be hard. Because see, like, I came from an athletic background. I played football when I was younger.
Yeah.
You know, I played basketball, played baseball, and I've always had coaches that were hard on constructive criticism and stuff like that. And they would get on you if you messed up. So I was kind of like half-ass prepared for Rip, I guess, a little bit. You know what I mean? I wasn't too intimidated, but at the same time, it made me want to do better. And when I messed up, I wanted to improve and you know, and keep doing the next right thing, and just keep, you know, get my my skills up to par. You know what I mean? So, but I was surprised when he dropped some like the C bombs and the the F bombs over and over. I was like, "Oh man, this guy's nuts." I love him. You know, man.
Yeah, we got to do a lot of editing here at Lilas
coach
Studio.
that's going to be on my ass. The coach that's going to push me, you know, to the best of my ability. So I love him, man. You're the best, Ripper. What
about you, Rip? You got any early initial memories of Mondo coming to class, coming to training?
Well, I'm going through the nostalgia shit when I get these guys on here. I'm just basically shutting up and listening. I'm reliving this shit, and I'm fucking smiling and I'm fucking laughing because they made my day and I made their day. And I was like the drill instructor. These guys are going off to war, and I got to teach them how to survive, because these were the guys with no contract. It was my job to do the best of my ability to give them the fundamentals and to be tough on them. And if they could survive me, they could fucking survive anybody else yelling at them or whatever, but they're used to it. Whereas today, everybody, you can't say anything to anybody and everybody's a sissy. And, but I made these guys tough, and I got them in shape so they could do this shit where they were fucking sleeping. They could work with anybody. They were able to adapt. They could call in the goddamn ring. And when I seen them coming in the crawl stage and how fast, because our practices were like Madison Square Garden main events, that we was pushing each other, and there was fucking competition in there. And I'll show you, motherfucker. I'm going to get jacked. I'm eating right. I'm going to out-train your ass. Guys would be coming early to practice, wanting to stay late for fucking practice. And there was a competition out there and I'd push one guy against the other two. Some guys I realized I couldn't yell and scream. Some guys would react differently, and some you had to fucking stroke a little bit. Some guys could take it, and some guys you couldn't fucking take it. So, and I had to read that, and I was a rookie coach. I didn't fucking know.
Yeah.
But it was a learning experience for all of us. But most of the people there, they just put up with my old ass and got good. And that was all I wanted them to do, because I was supporting those guys. And once you were one of my guys, you were one of my guys forever. And that's the way it is, and that's the way it was, and that's the way it's always going to fucking will be. So I was the guy in their fucking corner, but they didn't fucking know it. And it's like everybody don't like their coach when he's on your ass, and then after you graduate, then years later, now you're a peer.
Yeah.
But at the time, you're the guy trying to make it, and he's trying to push you to get better. And just hoping you can handle this shit. And sometimes I'd go too far, and And sometimes I didn't push hard enough. And you had to learn that fine line of how much you could fucking push.
I always liked you either way, Rip.
Well,
Even when you were an asshole most of the time, I still like you.
You needed to have somebody to be an asshole. You had your fucking ass kissed your whole fucking life.
Oh, please.
Shaking his fucking head. And then you go out there and beating everybody up like a big fucking bully, chopping everybody.
I think that's the way it's got to be. That's the way it should be. You know, you need a coach that's going to get on your ass and that's going to push you. And that's going to, you know, call you out when you're bullshit, when you're wrong, you know, and make it right. And that's, you know, like we learned, we didn't call anything, you know, we did everything in the ring. You know, I remember doing freaking 15-hour Broadways in your class. And, oh,
poor
man,
Mondo.
that was the best time of my life, man. I just go in there and just go in there and work, you know, but I wouldn't be able to do that. And I feel like I can still do it right now, you know.
Once you learn it, it's up there forever.
It is.
Once you learn that shit.
See, I was always hiding when he was getting ready to get people in for the hour of Broadways. I was always turning my head the other way and ducking down, praying that he didn't pick me. He probably knew better than to pick me for that shit anyway.
I remember my first ever hour of Broadway. It was first Joey and Carlito went, and then I was like, oh, okay. I was the same way. I was like, oh, thank God, you know. Okay, I kind of dodged the bullet there, you know, and. Because like, you know, Rip, he would call my name in there to go in there and, all right, Mondo, get in there with so-and-so and go 5 minutes, go 10 minutes, you know, and we like that every practice. And I'm like, I know my number is going to get called to do an hour Broadway sooner or later. And then when Joey and Carlito went, I'm like, okay, you know, I dodged another practice. And then immediately after that match, it was Mike Mondo, Chris Cage, get in the ring. You go in an hour. Ha ha. I'm like, oh, fuck.
Oh, man.
I remember the time I told the Prophet he was going to go an hour.
Yeah.
But then we did something else first. And I could just see him almost hyperventilate.
Oh, that's how I would have been.
Yeah, he was so fucking nervous. And then all of a sudden I changed it and I put somebody else in. Because he was having some serious emotional problems with it. I could see that right there.
What year did you say?
Done it before. It's a very intimidating experience. You know, think about it, going 60 minutes. Yeah, it could be a very long time. It could go within, you know, quicker than, you know, it's one or the other. There's no in between. So it's definitely something. I believe you have to go in there and listen first before you call. You know, you got to be able to listen to you got to be able to listen and, you know, just shut the fuck up and just kind of follow. Then once you've gone through that experience, you know, then you can kind of learn how to lead a little bit, you know, but you got to go through the trenches first.
See, it's like on the road, I was in the Maritimes and we wrestled 7 days. So I had 7 different baby faces and I'd either go Broadway every night or make it look like a Broadway and then do a finish after like 57 minutes or whatever. Nothing like Dusty where 1, 2, oh, the bell rang. You know what I mean? That's fucking bullshit. But just if I can make it look, oh, there's 2 minutes left and all of a sudden we cop a fall or there's a count or whatever the finish is. But then I would have a different match with everybody so I could play to your strengths and hide your weaknesses and make you look like a goddamn champion. And then everybody had more confidence in their own ability. And all of a sudden they became leaders. And all of a sudden they didn't have fear of going a long time. And we have separate dressing rooms. I just called the ring and that'd be it. And it was simple. But once you get that confidence that you can do that shit, it's amazing. And you don't get nervous or anything.
Yeah.
What year did you say you came to OVW?
I want to say it was 2002. Yeah.
I remember, I mean, I was there when you got there. You were awesome as soon as you got there. Like you could do everything. Like
physically,
yes.
Physically,
everything. Physically, you could already do like everything. And then, I mean, mentally, obviously you end up getting it too. But I would put you up there with like, if there was guys like you, I'm sure that's the reason Rip would always pull you in. Like, hey, do this. You were probably the example at a time. I mean, like you and Nick and some of those guys, man, you guys were awesome. But anyway, I won't put you over anymore. 2002, you were there. I remember going out with you like one of the first nights with that after you guys all came from that camp. And and then joined OVW. It was one of our first. It was like me, you. I didn't go to the camp, but I was there. Me, you. I think Seth Skyfire, Mike Taylor, and we all went out to what was that bar Louisville? I think it was, or
Atmosphere, was it?
Somewhere we went. We didn't. Mondo was like 19.
Uh-huh.
We didn't know more than walk through the door, and Mondo is making out with some fat chick on like a little couch over on the side. We're like getting ready to get like our first beer. Where's Mondo at? Turn around and he's just mowing on this fat chick right away. Like we were there 5 minutes. You were in heaven, Mondo, man. Probably the first bar you ever been to.
I remember that. That's one story you always bring up, and you always stick to that right there.
That is the story. It was great. So how long were you there? What year did you sign with WWE or F or whatever it was? Was it E then?
I was there for I want to say it was 2 years, 2.5 years.
Were you?
And and then I got signed with WWE when Tommy Dreamer kind of came into office, and I remember from what I understand, he was given 5 hires because he was he just came into office, and it was me, Joey Matthews, Mike Taylor, Danny Inferno, and Mac Johnson.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yep. And that's how we got our foot in the door with getting on paper.
Because I remember Seth and Tank, weren't they around that time too, or no?
Yeah, Seth and Tank were. Seth didn't get hired at that time. Seth got hired after me. Tank got hired before me, along with Jillian. I think he came from like Jillian, Magnus, and Cage, that kind of group right there. You remember that?
So after, So after you got signed, how long were you? Did you stay in OVW for a while? Then after you got signed, or did you get called up pretty quick after that?
I would say I was in OVW for about another year and a half.
Were you?
Before? Yeah. Like I knew like if I ever got the call, then I was going to be over prepared at that point. I went through the trial and error, and I was the type of guy that, that just didn't want to miss class and was always showing up to practice. I mean, my day, and I was also training guys too at the time at that point.
Oh, yeah.
I remember I had a full-time schedule. I'd come in the morning and train the non-contract class from 8 to 10.
Yeah, you trained me for a while.
Yeah, for a little bit. You were in my class for a little bit there,
you made me puke once on the corner to corner, whatever that corner to corners thing you did. I think they were up and over. You had a whole little routine and up and over. What was that? What was that again?
The 5-5-5 drill.
Yeah, I went through
reverse, shoot off 5 times. Yeah. Well, that was a Lance Storm special.
Was it?
Yeah.
It made me puke. I was dry heaving. It was great. Thanks a lot for that. So do you remember I asked Timmy Baltimore this a little bit ago? So how did you get offered? Was it over the phone? Was it Dreamer? Who was it? And what was going through your mind when that actual offer came?
Well, actually, I got ribbed when I got hired. I remember it was TV, and I came to TV, and Danny Davis, they asked me to go home and I forgot what it was, but to get something and come back. And then so I came back to TV, and then he pulled me in his office, and he's like, "What the fuck's wrong with you? How can you fuck up like that? You put my name on the line." And I'm just like, well, what are you talking about? Like, what did I do? You know what I mean? And he's like, it's bullshit. And he just kept on going on and on and on about it until I was about to crack. And he's like, well, I just want to be the first one to acknowledge and to congratulate you. You got a WWE contract. And I'm like, oh, shit.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But they fucked with me pretty bad. And all the boys popped and everything. And, it was one of those things that they always told me that they were pushing for me to get a job. It just never really happened. John Laurinaitis actually told me, to my face, he's like, Mike, he goes, I know you can work, but I just can't see how I can make any money with you. He always looked at me like a referee. And, which is fine, you know what I mean? But my heart was in the ring. Yeah. And that's what I wanted to do. And that's what I was going to prove wrong. And that that's where I belong and everything like that. So I just kept working, and they just kept pushing me. But again, they say in this business, everything's right place, right time, timing, and all those things kind of matched up for me. And that's when I got hired.
What's funny is whenever we had talked about guys, I said, well, Mondo's the best wrestler I got. I always said that. I said, I can't control who you guys hire or whatever, but he's the best one out there. And eventually, I guess if you keep saying that, at least they give you a look-see. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Mike, but you know how in the WWE, some people get strike 3, you're out. Some people, and they give you strike 1 and you was out, right? Was that right?
Yeah, that's correct. Yep.
Whereas somebody else can flip their fucking dick out on fucking planes and have 999 violations or whatever. And nobody says a fucking word. And you can have one thing happen to you and you can pay for years.
Yeah.
Imagine that. So you get strike 1 and you're out.
Mm-hmm.
But you were also 21 years old and you're in the main event in Madison Square Garden. Is that right?
Yeah. No, I did.
So-
I got to do a lot of cool things, you know.
What the fuck? What can you say, right? And you're doing the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Were you 21 when you went up?
I was 21 when I got signed. I was 23 when I went up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just thought you was 21. See, I can't fucking.
Yeah, 23 though.
Yeah.
That actually brought me to my next thing. So obviously the Spirit Squad's where you went up. Was there any talk with anything else before the Spirit Squad?
No, there was about me going up there to
Yeah.
TV.
Yeah. Like permanently.
Yeah, there was one idea. Oh yeah, permanently. Yeah, there was one idea that they were talking about where I'd be Kurt Angle's manager along with Luther Reigns and Mark Jindrak.
Yeah.
And I was kind of going to be the I forgot what it was going to. Yeah, I think like the manager or something like that, but that never fell through. So I remember the Spirit Squad kind of came at a perfect point in time in my career because Paul Heyman was booking at OVW at the time, and I was just lost. I had no idea where I was going. I kind of was like losing I felt like my identity a little bit. Like I didn't know who I was. I kind of just felt like I was going out there and I was just a wrestler in tights, you know?
Yeah.
And just kind of lost and just didn't know where I was going to fit in with the product. And then when they came up with the idea with the Spirit Squad, at least there was some direction for me. Now I was like, okay, well, I can work, you know, now I got this character they want to put on me, you know, I can work that, you know, and kind of came pretty natural to me. So,
Now in the Spirit Squad, Mike, now you came in on your own dime. Johnny Jeter came in on his own dime, right?
yeah.
Now, who else was that?
Nemeth.
Now Nemeth, he was a scholarship guy.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then who was the other guy?
Mitch and Ken Doan.
Ken Doan.
Okay. Now Ken Doan was a contract guy, right?
Yeah.
And then he was actually younger than they thought he was, right?
Yeah, he was 19.
Yeah. And then the other guy, now Cliff, or was it Cliff?
No, it was
Mitch.
tough. Mitch.
Mitch, yeah. Now he was a walk-in guy, right?
He was tough enough, wasn't he?
He was tough enough. Yep.
He was on tough
Okay,
enough.
so two of those guys were in the main event at Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
And they were walk-ons.
Yeah.
That's fucking unbelievable, isn't it?
Yeah, if you can really think about
That
it.
is
really
fucking unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I hear people will say like, you know, like the Spirit Squad ruined you or Eugene ruined Nick Dinsmore, but really you probably, like you said, you had been at OVW now for probably 3 years total before and after being signed, maybe longer. You just said you were kind of lost until you got, I always argue the other way. Like maybe Nick was a wrestler forever. Maybe he would have never made it without the Eugene character.
Hey, Nick would not have ever reached that
pinnacle.
Right. They did not want him as a wrestler.
And maybe you would have never made it to the main event of Madison Square Garden unless you were in the Spirit Squad. So my argument is, I just don't buy that shit. I don't. What's your thought? What's your thought on that? If people say that
about what, the Spirit Squad?
Yeah, just saying like the Spirit Squad, that like that gimmick ruined you, or I mean, obviously Nick or Nemeth's still there, or ruined Jeter or whatever. Do you have an opinion on that?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where I think that the Spirit Squad character, you get stereotyped, you know, because it was a very loud, it was a very such a character. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where I think that you do for a certain amount of time and you do it for so long that people automatically stigmatize you as the cheerleader guy. You know what I mean? I remember when I went to Ring of Honor afterwards and stuff like that, I had the crowd constantly chanting Spirit Squad, Mikey, Mikey, Mikey. Because it was just one of those things where it was just such a loud, boisterous character that it just really stuck out. And, it was kind of hard to get the stink off you a little bit afterwards. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's also one of those things where it's a Vince McMahon idea. You know what I mean? And if it's a Vince McMahon idea, it's a good idea, and he's going to push it to the moon. And, that was one of those things where I just want to put me in, coach. I want to play.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? That's what I wanted to do. But yeah, I had a hard time, but I knew I had to work twice as hard afterwards, to kind of get that Spirit Squad stink off me a little bit. And that's what I did. I reinvented myself. I was kind of a little bit bulkier. I got down to being shredded, 5% body fat. I redid my hair. I was 3/4 blonde. I remember at one point.
I remember that, yeah.
Grew out my beard, and I just tried to really change my look up and say, hey, look, I may have been a cheerleader, but I'm also a cheerleader that can work. And I'm going to show you people that I can go out there and hang with the best, So, it's just one of those things, man, where I think where you're a character, and, it's pretty much that's what we predominantly were. Like when we had matches, it was mostly cartwheels and toe touches, the wrestling kind of came secondary, if that makes sense.
Oh, yeah.
We weren't really known as, just like straight up wrestlers. So,
right. I mean, Santino, same way.
Santino, same way.
Nick just went up and just copied everybody else's moves, finishers and whatever. So, I get that. I just didn't know if you thought, I don't know how I'm trying to ask this question, I guess, but like, would you have changed anything? To me, the Spirit Squad got you on the map is the way I look at it.
Absolutely.
Not the other way around.
No, the Spirit Squad definitely got me on the map and it got my name out there.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful for that, because I got to do a lot of cool things. I got to wrestle my childhood heroes growing up, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, Ric Flair, Dusty Rhodes, Sergeant Slaughter,
That's
Roddy
awesome.
Piper, the Kane, the Big Show. I got to wrestle with a lot of guys with a lot of experience. And I'm still kind of really, when you think about it, I'm 4.5 years in the business.
Yeah. And young.
And young. Yeah.
Young in the business and young age.
Yeah. So this was just a lot of valuable experience that I'm getting just to kind of take my game to the next level.
Yeah. What was that like, man? Like, did you get used to it, or did you get in the ring and think, holy shit, now I'm in the ring with Ric Flair. Now I'm in the ring with Shawn Michaels, or did it ever just, it's no big deal?
No, I remember the first time we went out there and we found out we were wrestling. It was a 6-man tag. It was the Big Show, Ric Flair, and Shawn Michaels against us 5. I'm sorry, handicap match. And I remember the first time I heard Shawn Michaels' music hit, it was kind of like, all right, this is freaking cool. This is pretty sweet. You know what I mean? Like, but then it was kind of like, okay, now I'm like, yes, I looked up to them. And yes, like I always like idolized them as a kid, but now it's like, I feel like I'm one of them now. You know what I mean? They're my peers. So I got to not only conduct myself and act, accordingly, but I want to show that I can hang with the best now. So that kind of pushed me just to be even better, but it was pretty cool.
Got a question for Mondo, Rip? What else you got, man?
Well, it's just like, who remembers Cowboy Bret Hart?
Cowboy Bret Hart.
That's like, how many different characters has Nick Nemeth had?
Hey, he's had like 3 or 4.
Okay, so all you do is go in there. Here's your character, give it 100% and run with it, and wait for the next one. The check don't bounce. Just try and stay out of fucking trouble, because you got to remember, as soon as you guys got to push, that's when the guys, you're over. Everybody loves you until you start doing better than them. Now you're a threat. Now we got to set these guys up to break them up, to get rid of him, because we don't want him up here because he's taking my spot. He's above me now. And that's the wrestling business. And that's the way the wrestling business has always been. So just whatever character they get you, give it 100%. And if that didn't fucking work, it's like Eugene, boom. And then all of a sudden he's on there with segment with Vince and Bischoff. Who else was it with?
Rock Hogan. He was on with everybody.
He's on there with everybody, which Nick Dinsmore never would have got a sniff like that in his life.
That's what I say.
It doesn't matter what he could do. No, it's better than, and he skyrocketed.
Well, I'm going to ask Nick the same question.
Yeah. So that's cool.
Hey, Mondo, we got like 4 minutes left on this Zoom. So what are you doing? You don't have to tell us like everything you're doing now, but I noticed on Twitter, man, you're starting to really blown up, gain a lot of traction. People are actually talking about you. Timmy Baltimore was on talking about your Twitter, plugging it, giving out some good wrestling advice. I saw you're doing some maybe online seminars too. So just give us a little bit of what you got going on now.
Yeah, man. I've been just trying to get back to the wrestling business, offer my expertise and advice and everything I learned over the years. You can follow me on the Twitter at the Mike Mondo. And also doing an online professional wrestling school and virtual Mondo boot camp, where if you want, you could send me a match. And I will break it down A to Z for you. Give you all the pros and cons. You can DM me on my Twitter, or you can hit me up on my Facebook, or you can email me at themikemondo@gmail.com, and be happy and looking forward to working with you guys.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
So is the boot camp, is that like a membership thing, a one-off thing? Just
a one-off thing. Yeah. You send me a match and I'll break it down and critique it for you, A through Z. I usually watch it back 3 times. I'll watch it back the first time and then I'll take notes. And then the third time I'll watch it back and get on my computer and write down almost like a full resume of the match and everything, and kind of tell you what you can do better and see where you went wrong and everything like that.
Cool, man. Are you doing anything else in the wrestling biz at this time?
Unfortunately, not right now. I've had a little health scare. I had some blood clots in my leg, and I'm kind of getting that taken care of. I'm on the blood thinners right now. So once I get off the blood thinners, that's what my doctor's appointment was about earlier, actually.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Rip.
So.
Yeah. Legit shit, man.
Well, I know I got fucking veins in my leg this big, Mondo, sticking out. And I'm supposed to go for something, but I said, "Oh, I'm just going to die."
Yeah, but you haven't seen the last of Mondo though. I'll be back in the ring.
How old are you now?
What's that?
How old are you now?
39 years old.
39. I'm 48. I thought we were about 10 years different.
Prime of life, baby.
Prime of life, baby. That's what Rip says. No matter how old I am, ever since I've been like 20. Prime of life.
Prime of life.
How old are you this year, kid? 29, prime of life. 39, prime of life. 48, prime of life. No matter what. So you're the same age as Jerry Bam Bam Penders, who's now Trax or whatever. You guys are about the same age.
Oh, yeah.
You remember him?
Jerry Bam Bam.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Cool,
well,
man.
Man, we're gonna run out of time, but if you ever want to come back on and just shoot the shit a little bit,
yeah,
we'd love to have you back on. Plug your stuff, hang out. You're guest number 2 that we've ever had. Timmy Baltimore was number 1.
Awesome.
Nick Eugene's up next. He's number 3. So you're top 5, baby. That's pretty good.
Top 5, baby. That's it. I'm running with the big boys. Nice.
Give Lilas Studios a like and subscribe and a plug, man. All right.
I will, man. For
and
sure.
for all the women on Tinder with Mike, just swipe right.
Swipe right, baby.
Swipe right.
Hey, Rip, say a love part on our show. He's a relationship advisor. So if next time maybe we'll get you on for relationship advice.
We can.
Hell yeah, sounds good.
If you're struggling in that area at all, and Rip will straighten you right up, man. He's really good.
Remember, you also like young boys and middle-aged mature males.
With the big vein.
All right, man. Hey, thanks for joining us. We're getting out of here. Mike Mondo, Lilas Studios.
Don't get any better than that.
That's it, man. Thanks, guys. I appreciate you.
Thanks, Mike.
All right. Have a good one.
It's you.